Do you think he'll repeat as MVP? And I'm only
Okay.
asking this because we know his numbers are better. More points,
Hmm.
more rebounds, more assists, more blocks. But obviously we have the new quota of games that you have to play with the new CBA. You have to play at
Yeah.
least 65. And he's played over 65 the past 2 seasons.
But
But
he's cutting it close this year. I think
real.
he can only miss 7 or 8 games the rest of the season. I mean, we're looking at, so I'm actually happy you brought that up because I pulled up the graphic. He's averaging 3 more points than last year, 3 full. So his numbers this year are 36.1 points per game, 11.6 rebounds per game, 5.9 assists per game, and 1.9 blocks per game. All of those numbers are higher by at least one. The rebounds are up, the points are up by 3, the rebounds are up by 1.5, the assists are up by almost 2, and the blocks are up by a little bit, but all the numbers are better. And he's having these unbelievable performances like we're talking about right now. But if he misses a few more games, he isn't eligible for anything.
Yep.
MVP, All NBA, none of that. Listen, if he's the MVP, let's get that out of the way. There's no player in the NBA right now better than Joel Embiid. No player. But if he misses the games, he can't win it. He can't. If he plays the games, he's winning it. I don't think that's going to be close.
You know what? Let's ask that question.
Mm-hmm.
Forget it. Forget I even asked it.
All right, forget it. Yeah. What'd you ask?
Let's ask, do you think that this rule is even beneficial? Because now we're at a point where guys like this, guys like Embiid, guys like Kawhi, even though he's played a majority of the games this season so far, but him and PG have a track record of missing games. Anthony Davis even playing a lot more games this year. There's a lot more consistency coming out of these NBA stars, but do you think it's even valid? Because now we're talking about guys missing all NBA teams. Well, that means they're missing out on money if they don't make an all NBA team. That means if they fail to win an award or get this certain accolade, they're missing out on potentially $30 million. How do you feel about this rule in general? Because I think we talked about it when it happened in the summertime. But here now, it's more real. It's in our face that this is the best player in the game right now. And that is proving it. We could see another back-to-back MVP for the third time. But just talk to me about the rule in general. Just how do you feel about that shit in general? Because it's kind of annoying.
I think I feel the same way now that I did when it happened. Like, I get it. I get what they're trying to do. And in a way, it's working. Like you just mentioned, all those guys that are playing more games and stuff like that. But it can be unfair to players that aren't resting and like are missing time due to injury. And like how I look at things like this is like how it goes against how they've always done things. So it's like we've had MVPs in the past, all these awards and stuff of guys that have only played an X amount of games. But now it's like we're changing the course of history where it's like we're not going to be giving the best player the award if he's missing 17, 18 games in this season. And like, I get it. Like, and there should be some sort of like requirement, but I said this when it happened, I think 65 games is too small of an, like it should be like 60 or something like that. Even 5 extra games or something like that. I thought the number was a little bit too much. And I still do think that now. And as we're getting closer, people were complaining about that back then. If it actually does happen this year where Embiid doesn't win it, people are going to be like, obviously Philadelphia fans are going to be pissed, but people are going to be enraged. People are going to be pissed, and rightfully so. Like, I think that's kind of like, Embiid missed some games this year for, whatever reasons and stuff. I'm sure he wants to win the MVP. I'm sure he wants to be out there playing for his team, because when he is out there, he's dropping 70 points. I'm not a huge fan of the rule. I'm a fan. I don't mind the fact that they're trying to put, like, again, requirements and stuff, but it's flawed. I think they need to change some stuff eventually.
Yeah, like something's got to give here, because I get it. Iron Men should be respected in this league. If you're playing all 82, or if you're playing 70 plus, shout out to you. That shit is hard. You're playing back-to-backs. You're playing about 5 games a week or whatever it is. Like,
And that should play a part into like MVP voting and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But I
I
don't
believe
think
the
that's
narrative.
the end all be all of the amount of games that you play. Because also too, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's like Embiid is going to be like, if Embiid misses 2 games, 2 extra games, he doesn't win the MVP. People are going to look at this like Joel Embiid's the MVP. Who's going to be the not the fake MVP, but the runner up MVP? Like it's going to be like a Mickey Mouse MVP or something like.
Yeah,
People will say that
yeah.
stuff. That it will happen.
You know it's coming. I mean,
It
that's
will, hundred
look at
percent.
how they're reacting over the Doc Rivers situation. If they're reacting like
Mm-hmm.
that over that, they're gonna blow up out of damn near anything.
1000%. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, to piggyback off of what you're saying, it's to the point now where we can clearly see, and I think unless you just don't like Joel Embiid, or if you're super pro Jokic, and a lot of people already penciled him in as the greatest big ever after last year,
Sure.
you have to be blind to not see that Embiid is playing at the highest
Yeah,
level right now.
it's not
That's
even
what I'm talking
close.
about.
I love Jokic, and I would love the whole head-to-head thing again. But this year, out of all the years that they've gone like head-to-head, this is by far the furthest like distance
It's the
between the
biggest
two.
gap. The biggest
Embiid
gap.
is by far clearly the MVP this year. There is no one close. No one close. No.
It also probably seems a little easier on the eyes to me now because what sells tickets is scoring the basketball. Jokic does everything. But Embiid is not only scoring the ball at an efficient rate and obviously a fuck ton, he's also doing all the little things that people said he couldn't do, which is really just a playmaking aspect. Averaging 6 assists a game for
That's
a center.
impressive. For 36 points per game, too. Insane.
Come on, man.
Insane. We've never seen anything like it in our lifetime, at least.
Yeah, this is our wilt season.
He is. It really is. This is our what will.
It's still off by about 15 boards and about 20 points, but this is our wilt season.
This is the closest we'll get. We gotta appreciate it. Take what we can get.